Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Ron MaGill from Zoo Miami. You've got an animal. Everyone knows what this is. It's a bird.
It's a bird. You're good. Yeah, this is actually a Eurasian eagle owl. It's one of the largest owls in the world. And you know, people have these big misconceptions about owls. And I think one of the largest of the misconceptions is they're really smart birds. How many of you have gone to the library? They got the little owl with the little graduation cap.
Yeah, all the time.
The wise old owl, right? One of the dumbest birds on the planet. Okay, let me explain to you. He does that sound. Ooh, ooh, he'll do that every now and then. Let me explain to you why. The main reason is those eyes. If you look at the eyes of the owl, they're huge. Have incredible eyesight. If you had the eyes of an owl, you'd be able to read a newspaper 100 yards away, to give you an idea of how keen they are. And they don't move inside the head. Okay, you and I can do this. You know, we move our eyes up and down, side to side, this and that. And owls' eyes are fixed, like most birds of prey. So they have to point their head directly at what they're looking at all the time, which is what gives that owl that kind of Linda Blair thing where they can turn their head all the way around and look at you. But because those eyes are so... because those eyes are so huge, they take up so much cranial space, there's very little space for the brain. Okay, so they don't have a very large brain at all. Their brain is much smaller than most other birds. If you want to talk about smart birds, you know, one of the smartest birds in the world is the crow, the raven. I mean, just unbelievably smart bird. The other thing about owls is that people look at these things here and they go, oh, look, he's got those nice little ears up here. Those aren't ears at all. The ears of the owl are what we call asymmetrical ears. In other words, he's got one ear up here and the other ear down here. So they're not parallel to each other. You know, if you had your ear up here and another ear, you look kind of stupid. But the owls, it works that way because they actually use sound. They can triangulate sound and they can catch things without even seeing them. We did experiments at the university where we actually would blindfold an owl, we'd let the animal go, and it would catch it without seeing it, just from hearing it run on the ground.
Wow.
So, and you know, this guy's a big guy. People look at, but it's all feathers. I mean, he only weighs about 6-7 pounds. You know, you got anything you say because I'm talking a lot. And you just look at me.
So if these aren't ears, is that just like a? Is he expressing himself? Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Okay.
It's a boy, and that's another thing about birds of prey. In birds of prey, eagles, owls, hawks, the females are larger. They're stronger. They're just a much more badass animal. Okay. But that's because they're always laying the eggs to defend the chicks and this and that. No, he likes you when he looks at you that way. The thing you got to worry about with owls, you know, people look at the beak and they say, oh, it's that beak, he's going to rip your eyes out, you know, it's going to hang out by the optic nerve. No, what happens with these guys is the talons. The talons are what they use to defend themselves, it's what they use to kill their prey, and that's the danger in any bird. So if you come across, and there are owls here on campus, not this large, but there are little screech owls all over the campus here. If you see one and it's hurt, you know, don't say, oh, let me help you, go pick it up, because that thing's going to get on its back, it's going to nail you, you're going to scream like a little girl. It's really bad. Okay. The coloration is for the camouflage. You know, when this thing's standing right up against the trunk of a tree, it just blends in perfectly with the bark. They stay totally motionless. I'm going to do something, see if he doesn't try to fly away. But he's going to open his wings, and when he opens his wings, see if you can hear any sound. See, you really don't hear the flapping of the wings at all. They have special feathers all around the rims of their face. If you did that with a chicken, you would hear flap, 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 flap. But the owl has special feathers all along the rim of its wings, so when it does that, it doesn't make any sound. Why? Because the little mouse is on the ground, eating these little grasses and that. If this thing's flapping like this, here, incoming, gotta get out of the way. But the mouse doesn't hear crap. The owl's like, what? Wham! Damn, the mouse is dead. Okay, so it's kind of like a stealth bomber. That's nature's way of working. This is really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, you see, owls have that flat facial plate on them. There's a reason for that. The sound. Okay, you guys go to football games, right? You guys got the Canes finally doing well. So what we got here is we got because they kicked my Gators' ass. Anyway, what happens is with the owl, you know, on the sidelines you see those parabolic microphones, those plastic dishes where they have the microphone in the center. That's to draw the sound in. Well, you see, the owl's face is the original parabolic microphone. That flat face brings the sound right into its ears. So we copy nature all the time. If we look at nature, we'll learn a lot of stuff.
Incredible. Now, speaking of sound, there's one question that's been on everyone's mind thanks to a viral video.
Okay.
Dog goes woof, cat goes meow. What does fox say? Every animal has a sound.
Yeah, foxes have more of a yip.
More of a yip? So it's not like a bum bum whale, because that's what the song suggests. But have you seen the video? I'll send it along to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. I can't wait.
So what do these birds eat? Do they eat people? Like, should you be afraid if you see one of these?
Listen, you shouldn't be afraid of any animal. You respect all animals, and you have no reason to be afraid of them. These guys don't have any beef with human beings. They feed strictly on small rodents, small mammals. They might occasionally take other birds. And they do us a big service. You know why? Listen, a mouse, if you let a mouse meet another mouse, and you let them breed, and you let their babies breed, and their babies breed, and their babies, in 1 year, 2 mice can produce 1 million mice. Ooh. Yes. Okay? All right. So, when you think about the fact that more people have died from the spread of things like bubonic plague from fleas and ticks on rodents and the destruction they do to our crops, these guys are huge. They do us a huge service. They're saving lives, they're saving money, they're providing food. The owl should be almost your best flippin' friend.
Wow. Give it up for owls, everyone. Now, unfortunately, we are out of time. So I'd like to thank our guest, Ron MaGill, and I want to let everyone know, 1, thanks for coming. 2, feel free to check out all of Off the Wire episodes and all the other great UMTV shows at www.umtv.miami.edu or www.youtube.com/offthewire. Thanks for coming, everyone, and especially thanks to you and the owl.
My pleasure.
See you next time.